Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Simply Michelle. And if you're here for the first time, happy to have you. And we have been reading the story called The Promise, written by moi, of course. So if you're new here, there are several videos that you will have to check out so you can keep abreast of what is going on. And so far the story is going. You have Ashley, pregnant around that time for her to give birth. Brent and Nyla, of course, graduated from high school and about to enter university. Let us see what challenge they may have, or maybe none. Let us see how well they will adjust. So without itching, let's get right into the story. New beginnings. Chicago, 1 week later. The train screeched to a stop as Brent and Nyla stepped off, backpacks long, a pair of worn-out suitcases between them. The city breathed around them, tall, alive, buzzing with possibility. "Welcome to the next chapter," said Nyla, eyes wide as she looked around at the towering skyline. "Please tell me we did the right thing convincing our parents not to accompany us here," said Nyla. Brent exhaled deeply, tightening his grip on his sketch pad, tucked beneath his arm. "Oh, well, we are really here. It's the price we have to pay trying to be independent. And besides, we wanted to experience this as a couple and to prove to them how much of an adult we are," expressed Brent. They shared a nervous laugh, arms brushing as they walked toward the exit into the unfamiliar streets. There were people everywhere, cars honking, food trucks streaming, and pigeons bold enough to steal fries right off a bench. But somehow, amidst the noise and the newness, they felt calm. They had enough of each other that mattered more than anything else. Settling in, Brent's dorm room was on the 5th floor of a new renovated industrial building with big windows, exposed brick. Across the city, Nyla's campus felt more modern, surrounded by trees and quiet coffee shops. They had a plan: Sunday lunch every week, video calls on study nights, shared Google calendars, and no matter how crazy school got, one rule stood firm: they would never stop showing up for each other. Brent dove into his first week of classes, design, figure drawing, and a course called Art in Social Spaces. He loved it. He feared it too. Everyone was talented. Everyone had vision. But Nyla's voice stayed in his mind. "You don't have to be the best. Just be yourself." Unapologetically, she would say. Nyla, on the other hand, was instantly captivated by her psychology courses. Human behavior, emotional resilience, trauma healing. She soaked up every word. Brent came to a visit one afternoon after his classes to find her sitting on the floor with sticky notes all over her wall labeled "Attachment Therapy, Boundaries, and Childhood Conditioning." "You look like a therapist already," he joked. "I feel like one having a mid-semester breakdown." She laughed, pulling him down beside her. He kissed her forehead. "We're gonna be all right." Back in Ohio, a very different kind of labor. Back home, Ashley was waddling through her third Brixton X contraction of the hour. Tessa eyed her knowingly. "You sure those aren't real?" she asked. Ashley paused, gripping the arm of the sofa, breathing slowly. "Okay, that one's felt biblical." Julie grabbed her keys. "Hospital now," she said. Ben helped Samuel load Ashley into the car, while Mrs. Jones passed an overnight bag like a seasoned military officer. Car seats in, blankets folded. "Let's roll," she barked like a drill sergeant. Ashley groaned from the passenger seat. "Tell Brent I love him, and if I don't make it, let him know. No matter what life throws at him, keep on pushing ahead." "Oh," she screamed. Ben laughed as he shut the car door. "You'll be holding that baby before midnight." Later that night, a new cry fills the room. At 11:45 p.m., the hospital room filled with the sharp, high-pitched cry of a newborn girl. Ashley, sweaty and exhausted, looked up at Samuel, who was crying openly, her hand in his. "She's perfect," he whispered. "She's loud," Ashley murmured, smiling through tears. The nurse gently laid the baby in her arms, wrapped in a peach swallow with a name card tucked beneath. Tessania Grace Scott. Her tiny face waved as Ashley looked down, love flooding every part of her. "I am your mama," she whispered, "as you are the most beautiful thing I have ever seen." Outside the room, the family waited, Ben pacing, Julie praying softly, and Mrs. Jones organizing everything that didn't need organizing. When Samuel stepped out, his face radiant, he smiled. He simply said, "She's here, healthy, beautiful, and Ashley is doing great." Cheers erupted. Tessa covered her mouth in gratitude. Daniel bowed his head, whispering thanks to the Almighty God. Grandad Finn wiped a tear from his cheek. Even Michael got choked up, while Greg, on spot, on target with his camera, capturing every emotion and ready to upload. Meanwhile, Chicago, just past midnight. Brent's phone buzzed. He and Nyla were sitting in the dorm lounge watching a movie when he picked it up. A picture came through. Baby Tessania, wrapped like a blessing. Ashley smiling weakly beside her. He showed it to Nyla, who grasped, covering her heart. "Oh my word," she whispered. "She's perfect," she continued. He stared at the photo for a long time. Then, with a quiet kind of reverence, Brent said, "Life really keeps growing, doesn't it?" Nyla rested her head on his shoulder. "It does, and so do we." And so, from Chicago to Ohio, from old pain to new joy, from first days to first cries, the story continued. Rich with love, stitched with faith, overflowing with family. A baby born, a cry, a city discovered, a dream pursued. And in every chapter, they chose one another again and again. This was home, even if it stretched across states and seasons. When the canvas cracks. 6-week midterm missteps. By the 6th week of classes, the honeymoon phase of college life had started to fade at the edges. Brent had 3 deadlines in 1 week: an abstract mixed media installation critique, a late-night studio project, and a surprise oral presentation on symbolism in political art. He hadn't eaten properly in 2 days, barely slept, and hadn't replied to Nyla's last message from the night before, which read, "Are we still meeting for lunch tomorrow? Miss your face." That message went unopened. Nyla, meanwhile, was juggling psychology therapy, a group project full of slackers, and her first field interview with a child development expert who rescheduled 3 times. Her stress had quietly bloomed into overthinking, which turned into worry and then slipped into hurt. At 2:47 p.m., she sat in their usual cafe spot, waiting with 2 iced teas and an untouched sandwich. Brent never showed. The first argument. Later that night, Nyla finally called. Brent answered, voice groggy and distracted. "Hey, sorry I didn't text. I crashed after class," he explained. Her voice was gentle but cool. "You forgot again." "I didn't forget," he said defensively. I had a lot going on." Nyla's silence was heavy. Brent sighed. Nyla, I'm drowning in work. I'm trying here. Throw me a bone." "So am I," she replied. "But trying doesn't mean disappearing, Brent." He sat up. "I am not disappearing. I am working. I am exhausted all the time. You think I'm just ignoring you?" "I think..." She paused. She said quietly, "That's when things got hard. You shut down. And I don't know where I fit when that happens, Brent." That hit him in the face. He didn't expect. He stared at the wall for a long moment. "I am scared," he admitted finally. "Everyone's in my programs better than me, or richer, or connected. I have got nothing but a pencil and a deadline. And I feel like if I slow down, I'll fail and fall behind and lose everything." Nyla's voice softened. "You won't lose me." "But what if I'm not enough for both?" he said, his voice breaking. "Not enough for school, even for you, for this whole dream of mine." Nyla swallowed hard. "Then we'll figure it out together," she said. "But you have to let me in, Brent. Love isn't built in silence." A quiet morning. The next day, Brent showed up outside her dorm building, hoodie on, hair uncombed, holding her favorite vanilla chai latte and a small envelope. "I am sorry," he said, simply when she came outside. She didn't say anything, just looking at him. He held out the envelope. Inside was a sketch of her sitting in the cafe waiting, looking down at her watch. The lines were raw, vulnerable, her disappointment captured with aching honesty. "I didn't know how to say it," said Brent, "so I drew it instead." You were right. I went silent. I panicked. But I didn't want to hide from you again. Nyla looked up at him, tears in her eyes. I don't need perfection, Brent. Just your honesty. That's all I ask. He stepped forward and wrapped his arms around her, forehead resting against hers. No more disappearing, he promised. Later that week, rebuilding. That Sunday, they sat in the library together. Brent sketched as Nyla highlighted her notes, their legs brushing beneath the table. They weren't fixed, but they were rebuilding. Not every test in college came from a professor. Some came from love, from fear, from the tug of war between ambition and intimacy. And together, they passed their first one. Of course, they are trying. When dreams call in different directions. Late October. The unexpected email. Brent had just finished his last class of the week. His fingers were smudged with charcoal, and his bag clanked with loose brushes and graffiti. As he passed through the studio hallway, his phone buzzed. Congratulations, selected for residency from Chicago Institute of Visual Arts. His heart skipped a beat. He clicked the email open and read. Dear Brent Mendez-Olin, we are pleased to offer you a place in our summer artist residency in Berlin, Germany. You were chosen for your raw expression and unique social voice in visual storytelling. The program begins June 5th and runs through August 15th. He read it twice, then again, then just sat down on the hallway bench, the noise of the world fading. Berlin, an international art residency, paid for, published. He knew what this meant, and he knew what it might cost. Nyla's own surprise. That same evening, Nyla was walking across campus when her phone rang. An unknown number. She nearly ignored it but answered last minute. Hello. Hi, is this Nyla Moore? Yes, it is. This is Dr. Ayana Everett from the Healing Futures Fellowship. You recently submitted a personal statement about trauma-informed youth therapy? Yes, I did, Nyla said, pulse quickening. I am calling to let you know you have been selected. We'd like you to join our early immersion team for community-based mental health and work next summer in Oakland, California. It's a hand-on mentorship, stipend included, and we think you'll be a perfect fit. Nyla blinked, stunned. Oh wow, thank you so much, she said repeatedly. You have got 10 days to confirm, the woman added kindly. We'll send the details by email. When the call ended, Nyla sat down on a bench just outside the library, heart pounding in her chest. She should have been ecstatic. And she was. But a whisper inside asked, what about Ben? Later that night, Brent came over after dinner. Nyla met him on the steps of the dorm, and they sat on the stone ledge in silence for a few beats, both holding something back. You first, said Ben, sensing her hesitation. She breathed in. I got a fellowship, in Oakland all summer. Youth trauma therapy mentorship. Brent eyes widen. Nyla, that's amazing. That's huge. It is, she said. But I can't stop thinking about us, about the distance. He paused, heart racing. I've got accepted into Burling summer residency, he said softly. Her mouth parted. Burling? He nodded. Yep. It's kind of a big deal. They stared at each other. Two people in love. Holding world-changing news in their hands and suddenly feel the weight of it all. And guys, we take a pause here for today. So now we see how it's all coming together for Brent and Nyla, who were so excited to graduate high school, venture off into university. Now their dreams are becoming a reality. Only trouble is, it seems to be taking them apart from each other across the world. Will they make it? Will they choose their dreams and ambition over each other? To find out all those answers, stay tuned for next week's episode. And Philippians 4 verse 13. I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. So whatever you find to do today, do it to the best of your ability. Bye-bye.